I named my podcast Diversity Bites. This is a bit of a pun because I keep each episode short, 5 to 10 minutes, and because without proper management, just creating a more diverse workforce can backfire. Without any effort, people who are more like each other will find it easier to cooperate and get along. Of course, you run the risk of groupthink and other downsides, but from a purely getting along perspective, sameness is easier. Companies value diverse teams, not because they are easier, but because people with different ideas and approaches sharpen each other. Blind spots are fewer, and this leads to better performance and better results. But make no mistake, this is unlikely to work without an environment where everyone feels like they can be themselves and differences are resolved instead of being avoided or exacerbated. And the key players who are in the best position to help make this happen are your managers. I'm Joe Kwan, the Connection Counselor, creator of the Everybody Thrives program, author of Unlock Your Charisma, Feel Like a Star, and host of Diversity Bites, the daily video podcast that unlocks higher performance. Not everyone will work well together in the first, second, or even third instance. There are two critical inflection points where your managers can make diverse teams work. The first is deciding how to pair people together. It's like pairing different types of food. Even though everyone is distinct and different, some pairings work better than others. And like an expert chef, a good manager knows which ones will be more pleasing. Whether a pairing is good or bad is not based on the level of similarity or difference of the people. What makes a pairing bad is when it brings out the worst in both people. What makes a pairing good is when it resolves to a balance where both people get to shine. So, how does a manager find the best pairings of team members? Unfortunately, or maybe I should say thankfully, there is no algorithm to dictate this. Creating high-performing teams is based partially on intuition and partially on observable behaviors. But the real key is the manager's ability to adjust based on results. This is the second critical inflection point where your managers can make diverse teams work. Rather than oversimplifying and deciding certain combinations will always or never work, your managers can evaluate what is going on, provide appropriate support and feedback, and ultimately help shape a better result. It's important to note that lack of conflict is not the measure of success. In fact, conflict is an essential ingredient and part of the process that creates better results. The true measure of success is the final result. When the handling and resolution of differences leads to better results than either person would have achieved in the absence of any conflict. This is how your company can realize the promise of higher performance that flows from your modern, more inclusive workforce.